Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Celine Montana and I'm in sunny St. Lucia. Well, sunny-ish. It's a bit overcast, it's a bit cloudy today, but it is so warm and I will take that over the UK weather any day. I am in isolation at the moment. That will be addressed in another video. But I'm fine. I hope that wasn't a gunshot. But yeah, I thought I'm gonna do a quick video to let you guys know what you actually need to do in order to get to St. Lucia and enjoy a holiday. Hopefully enjoy it much more than I have. So let's get into it. All right, so the first thing, you've decided you want to come to St. Lucia. You got your girls, you got your guys, you got bae, you got whoever, and what you first need to do is obviously choose your accommodation and make sure that it's COVID approved. To be honest, pretty much all the hotels on the islands are COVID approved. There are also villas which are COVID approved. If you don't want to stay in a hotel, you can always opt for a villa. Just make sure that you check whether it's COVID-19 approved. There is a list of every single villa and hotel that's approved on stlucia.org. I will link that down below in the description bar, and obviously you can double check your accommodation. So you've decided where you're going to stay, you've got your team of people who's going to come, and now you have to do a form, a travel advisory form on stlucia.org, and that is like a digital form. It takes roughly about, I'll say 7 minutes in total to complete. That you want to do at your earliest possible moment. Sorry guys, I'm just looking down because there's been lizards around here recently and I'm not trying to have one run over my foot. But you want to make sure you do your form as early as possible, and then that creates like an online portal for yourself. So I believe you say you put down the hotel that you're going to stay at, you put down the dates, you put down your passport number, etc. and stuff like that. Once you do that, you'll probably forget about it, because like I said, you want to do that at your earliest convenience. So unless you're going to St. Lucia the next day, which I don't think you'll be able to do with this process, you will probably forget about it. 5 days before you come to St. Lucia, there will be an email alert from the people from stlucia.org, and that will remind you to upload your PCR results. You are able to do your test up to 5 days beforehand, no sooner than 5 days before, and then you're going to put up your negative certificate on your portal. It's very, very, very important you do this, otherwise you can't even leave London, okay, or wherever you're coming from. But obviously I'm from London, so you cannot leave London if you do not put this on your portal. I personally use Randox. I think they had the best prices for PCR testing. I paid £55 for my fit to fly test, and I went to their center. It took roughly 5 seconds to do my swabbing my nose and my mouth, and then after that they do whatever at their lab, and I got my results the next day. So my test was on a Saturday, I was flying on a Wednesday, and there is actually a grid on the stlucia.org which shows you if you're arriving on a certain day, what day should you test on or afterwards. So they're really, really good to help you and assist you in that way. I did my test on Saturday at 11 AM and I got my results Sunday at 6 AM. Like they were working overtime for me, baby. They were working overtime. My results said negative, so I went back onto my St. Lucia portal and I put the screenshot of my negative certificate on my application form, and then about 5 hours later I got my confirmation from stlucia.org which says, congratulations, we welcome you into St. Lucia and hope you enjoy your holiday. So yes, all of that is very, very important, and I say that it's not a thing where you can try to cheat the system and all of that. Do not do that, because before you leave the country of origin, you cannot even get onto the plane. I mean, I don't know about America and everywhere else, but in London, and you fly from Gatwick, they check your authorization documents before you even go to check-in. Yes, before you go to check-in. So it's also ideal that you print everything. You don't want your phone to have no data, you can't connect to the Wi-Fi, your phone dies. Don't do all of that. Don't rely on technology. Print everything like you would back in the day, and get like a little folder, a little plastic wallet, just to keep everything together. So that's what me and all the girls did. I literally had a plastic binder from work. I put my passport in there, I printed off my negative PCR result, and I also printed off my St. Lucia travel advisory acceptance form that said I can enter the country. I printed that off and I put it inside the folder. When you get to Gatwick, they're going to check the PCR result and they're going to check the confirmation that you're able to enter St. Lucia. Once they've checked that, you can go along to check-in and do your airport runs as normal. Once you land in St. Lucia, now I've been to the island, this is my 8th time, so I was used to the process before. The process is a bit longer now due to COVID. Before you get to immigration and customs and all of that, there's now a makeshift white tent in St. Lucia, and that's where you present your documents once again. You also do a temperature check, and that will just make sure that you can then go ahead and go to baggage claim and customs. When we were in the white tent, it was probably a half hour, maybe 45-minute wait. Actually, I don't think it was that long. I think maybe half an hour wait once we got off the plane and went into the white tent. You go to one of the people who will call you over. They'll ask to check again your PCR results, and they'll ask to check your travel advisory form acceptance. If you are vaccinated, you'll be presented, I believe, with a white band. I'm not. This is the band from the hotel. Yeah, you'll be presented with a white band, and that obviously shows you're vaccinated, and you can do whatever you want when you get to your accommodation. I just want to add in, if you are vaccinated, it has to be double jabbed, and your second jab you have to be in St. Lucia 2 weeks after that to be classed as double vaccinated. One vaccine, you're basically classed as unvaccinated. If you are unvaccinated coming to St. Lucia, you have to quarantine for 14 days at your accommodation. But during that time, you can go to COVID-approved excursions and go to COVID-approved restaurants. When we're here, unfortunately, it's curfew, so there's no dining options. Everything's just takeaway. But excursions are still fine. So trust me, guys, it sounds like a lot, but when you get here, you realize you're a bit more free than you actually think with all these curfews and stuff. So don't worry, we'll get into that. So yeah, well, you're in the white tent, you get your white band if you're vaccinated. If you're unvaccinated, you get no band. You just get a little pink wristband, and that shows that you've passed like the temperature check and checking your documents, and you can remove it as soon as you leave the airport or when you get to your accommodation. It's up to you. The temperature check is not a gun. I didn't even realize we got temperature checked. It was like you walk up to like these little feet symbol thing on the floor, and it's like there's a big thing in front of you which just looks like a big stand camera, and I think that automatically detects your temperature, because on the reverse side where a woman is sitting, your face will come up on a grid and stuff like that. Very, very technological. So anyway, they've checked all your documents, you're free to go, you're free to get your bag. You can then you can go to customs and immigration, get your passport stamped, and you are free-ish. So we got our transfers by Sun Tours, so our transfer brought us straight to the hotel. I'm at Bay Gardens Beach Resort. It's very lovely. So yes, you check into your hotel. That process, I'm pretty much sure if everyone's a frequent flyer and holidayer, you know how that is. Some places I've been to, they give you a wristband that just detects your accommodation type. So we are breakfast only, so we have just a red wristband. If you are all-inclusive at Bay Gardens, you get a green wristband. That's how they just determine whichever status you are. At this hotel, and I'm gonna take a wild guess, and that every other hotel in St. Lucia, you do daily temperature checks. They take literally like 5 seconds. It's just a little gun that I'm sure everybody's had at some point during this whole pandemic, and they put it to your wrist, and that detects your temperature. They'll note it down, and you have to do that twice a day. Do that, I believe, by 10 AM in the morning, and then like between 3 and 4 in the afternoon with the nurse. On the ground floor at Bay Gardens, that's where the nurse's station is. Sometimes you can do it at the front desk or literally at the front of the accommodation, but if you miss the hours, then you just go to the nurse's station and she'll do it for you, and then that just records it down. If at any point you think you are coming down with COVID, again, you can go to the nurse's station, and I'm pretty sure they'll be more than happy to give you a rapid test, and then they'll organize a PCR test if your test comes back as positive. Now for the excursions. So like I said before, if you are unvaccinated, you cannot leave the hotel freely of your own accord, just to roam around, to walk about. You've got to only leave by COVID approved taxi, or if you are doing a excursion. There's so many excursions to do, guys, trust me. You can go to Diamond Falls, waterfalls, you can go to Sulphur Springs, you can go to, I think, do like a chocolate tour at Fondue, you can go to Pigeon Island, do snorkeling, you can do zip lining. There's a whole bunch of excursions to do, and the list is all on that same stlucia.org, and that will tell you what you can do from what you can't do. Where we are at Bay Gardens, if you're at any of the Bay Gardens properties that goes for the beach resort, inn or hotel, you can have free access to Splash Island Water Park, which is in the sea. It looks so much fun. I haven't done it yet. I don't know if I'll get to do it before I leave, but yeah, you can do that. That's in the water, so it looks so much fun, and I really wanted to challenge the girls and make them wipe out first, but oh well, we'll see if I get to do that or not. That's even classed as an excursion, so if you're at a neighboring hotel, you can ask to come here to do it. I believe it's maybe like $11 US, and that gives you like a few hours entrance into doing that. And like I said, if you come and you do an excursion, usually the hotel will arrange it, or your whoever you booked your holiday with can arrange it. They usually organize like a mini bus to pick you up that will take you to the excursion place. However, if you're lucky, you might get to stop off on the way. Like for example, we did the Suffret Island tour, so that got us into Sulphur Springs, Diamond Falls and the Botanical Gardens, but along the way we did stop at like a little roadside shop. She had so many local things like coconut oil, coconut cream, rum, local rum with all the sticks and spices and stuff in it. It was amazing, and we got to do like a bit of rum tasting there, and we got to buy some stuff. There was also a marketplace on the way back. Well, not an actual market, again, it was a roadside sort of selling place, and I got to buy some fruit which I kept in my room. I got soursop that was like 10 EC, which is about less than £4, and in the UK I've been paying £20 sometimes for one, but we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, about 10 EC for a soursop. A bag of oranges was like 5 EC. It was really, really good prices, and I'll say if you're able to, always get fruit from the local people, because it'll be cheaper and you're supporting them as well. So yeah, if you have to do an excursion, don't feel like, oh my god, it's straight to the excursion and straight back. If you're lucky, sometimes you can stop off and do other things, or keep it within COVID guidelines, obviously. And yeah, that's about it. So when it comes to returning to your country, so again for me it will be London, England. When it comes to returning, I'll have to do a antigen test, which you can do 72 hours before arriving in England. Then you have to do a passenger locator form, and I believe somehow that antigen test will get some sort of reference number, and you put that on to your locator form. And you also have to make sure before you even leave the country, before you leave England or wherever your country of origin is, you have to purchase your day 2 and day 8 PCR tests, because the passenger locator form requires the reference number of where you've purchased on that form. So I mean, I guess you can also purchase it when you're on holiday, but you don't want all that stress of finding somewhere. Again, I do recommend Randox. I paid £89 for a day 2 and day 5 test, because I opted to isolate for 5 days instead of 10, because I don't have time. So I'm going to isolate for 5, and I ordered those about the week before I left to come here. My day 2 got delivered a couple days before I flew out, and my day 5 I believe arrives after I've arrived back in the country, but I'm not sure. It could be waiting for me in the post once I reach back home. So yes guys, I believe that's it. Unfortunately I can't tell you the process when you arrive back to England, because I'm not back in England yet, but I hope that was informative enough of everybody who wants to travel to St. Lucia. I say still do it. If you need a break, don't let these people bully you into being like, why ain't traveling during a pandemic? Things can go wrong at any time. If you need a break, come to St. Lucia, go somewhere else, do whatever you got to do, as long as you're doing it safely, and you take the steps to protect yourself and others that you're traveling with. And I'll also say take out travel insurance, because if anything happens, at least you've got that safety net, and that can help you out and pay for any additional things that has happened, like me. But like I said, all of that will be explained in the vlog of what's happened out here. And yeah, so hopefully you found this video informative. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys, I'm sure, in my next video. which will be another St. Lucia-esque type thing. So yeah, peace.